Hey, trending topics. This is Miss Corey. Today I am going to go through the Unit 2 Bias Summative worksheet. You're like, really? You made a video of you reading through the directions? Yeah, I did, because these directions are a little confusing, but if you follow along, I'm sure you'll get it. For those of you who aren't paying attention, you're going to be really confused in what to do, so make sure you're paying attention. So, directions. Step number 1. Here's a list of all of your names on this document here. Next to your names, you will see the news source that I have already assigned you, and you must only use that news source for this project. Now, if you can't access your news source, like for example, GoGuardian blocked it or something like that, let me know right away so I can go in and unblock it. Step number 2. You will click on the news source link next to your name. This will bring you to the homepage of your news source. You are going to choose one news article from your news source. Your news article must be at least 6 months old or newer. Step 3. Below is a box that says My News Source. In that box, type in the news source that was assigned to you. So for example, if I was assigned MinPost, I would type in MinPost, just like that. Below is one chart. The chart is meant for one of the news articles that you have picked in step 2. Fill out the chart by answering the prompts or questions in each of the boxes. So, here's the chart that I am talking about. It's these little 4 squares right here. So, with this chart, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the name of the article, and then I'm going to put the link to that article in this box right here. This box over here, I am going to type a 2 to 3 sentence summary of the news article in my own words. This box right here, I'm going to name at least one aspect of this news article that a viewer or a reader could see as a positive bias of the news story. This box right here, I'm going to name at least one aspect of this article that a viewer or reader could see as a negative bias of the news story. I will show you an example that I did after I'm done reading through all these instructions. Step number 5. This is probably the most important step. So you are going to determine whether your news article is more positive or negative. Okay? It's totally up to you if you think your news article is more positive or negative, but you have to choose one. So, if you think your news article has more of a negative news bias, you are going to complete steps 6, 7, and 8. And you are going to completely ignore steps 9, 10, and 11. So you don't have to do steps 9, 10, and 11. If you think your news article has more of a positive news biases, you are going to complete steps 9, 10, and 11 and ignore steps 6, 7, and 8, meaning you don't have to do steps 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so that's really, really important. Without this knowledge here, you're going to accidentally do twice the work, and that would be sad. So, if you think your news article is negative, you are going to go on to step 6. You are going to then flip the tone of the news article. You're going to make an originally negative story into a positive news story. To do that, you are going to take any positive aspects from the news story and just focus on those positives. So, for example, if your news article is about a player from the Green Bay Packers getting injured, don't focus on the tragedy of the injury. Focus on how easy the opposing team is going to win against the Green Bay Packers in the next game. Or, if your news article is about how educators are quitting their job at record numbers, focus on the aspects of why educators should keep their jobs. Get creative with your ideas. Feel free to think outside the box. If you need help, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. Step 7. Negative to positive biased newspaper activity. So open up your Canva's newspaper template with this link. So this link will take you to Canva, and there is just a ton of different templates that you can choose from. So choose one of them if it loads for me. There they are. Look at all these. So choose one of these. So choose a template you want to use. For that template, you must include the following information from your negative to positive biases news article. So you need the date your news story happened or published, a new title for your negative to positive biases news article, a picture corresponding to your news article. It can be the same picture as in the original news article, or it can be different. Just make sure that you include a description of what is shown in the picture and the website the picture is from, a 3 to 4 sentence summary of the news article using positive biases and aspects. And if you need help thinking of positive words, you can certainly let me know. If not, you can also check out this list. Step 8. Once you're done with your Canva news article, you're going to copy and paste your Canva news article in the box below. There are 2 different ways you can do this. The first way is to download your newspaper from Canva into either a JPEG or a PNG file. A PDF file will not work for this assignment. Okay, so make sure it's JPEG or PNG. And then you're going to insert the JPEG or PNG file into the Submit Negative to Positive Biases newspaper here box, which is located right here. See that? It's just right there. Okay. If you need help downloading a Canva file to JPEG or PNG, you can watch this video. I'll walk through it with you. The second way is to share the Canva newspaper with me and put the shared link to the Negative to Positive Biases newspaper here, which is that box again right here. And if you need help on how to share a Canva link with me, you can watch this video. I will walk you through of how to do that. Make sure it is shared with me. So many students forget to share it with me if you do the second way. Okay, so let's go back up for a second. So when we were at step 5, right, I had you choose. You either think that if your news article is negative or if you think your newspaper or news article is positive. Now, I just went through the directions of if you think it's a negative newspaper. Now I'm going to go through the instructions on if you think it is a positive news article. So if you think your article is positive, you are going to complete steps 9, 10, and 11 and ignore steps 6, 7, and 8. So I'm just going to scroll past step 6, 7, and 8. And I'm going to start right here on step number 9. So if your article is positive, you're going to flip the tone of the news article. You're going to make an originally positive news story into a negative news story. And to do that, you're going to take any negative aspects from the news story and just focus on those negatives. So, for example, if your news article is about a new free community gym opening up in Chicago, you could talk about how much the gym cost to build and that money could have been spent somewhere else. Or if your news article is about a herd of goats eating invasive species in local parks, you could talk about how feces they leave behind and the distraction it was for park goers. Again, get creative with your ideas. If you need help, let me know. Step 10, positive to negative biases newspaper activity. This is pretty much the same as what I just talked about. But again, open up your Canva's newspaper templates with this link. Choose a template you want to use. For the template, you must include the following information for your positive to negative biases news article, the date of your news story, a new title for your news article, a picture corresponding to your news article. Make sure you include the description of what is shown in the picture and the website you got the picture from, a 3 to 4 sentence summary of the news article using negative biases and aspects. And if you need help thinking of negative words, you can check out that list or let me know. I can certainly help you too. And then step 11 is going to be also very similar to what I explained beforehand. So once you're done with your Canva news article, you're going to copy and paste your Canva news article in the box below. I'm speaking of this box right here that I have highlighted. So you can do this one of 2 ways. Again, you can either download it as a JPEG or a PNG and then copy and paste it into this box, or you can share with me the shared link, make sure that I actually have access to it, and copy and paste it into this box. Either way is fine with me. Make sure all of your boxes are filled out for this worksheet, then you can turn it into Schoology. Here are my tips. So did you pick an article but you can't find positive or negative aspects about the news story? Feel free to go choose a different article or ask me for help. I can help you out too. Be creative on what aspects of the news article you can spin as positive or negative, depending on what you choose. Look for the big and small details about the news article. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help. The news source you were assigned may not be the news source you prefer, but don't worry, this assignment is supposed to get you out of your comfort zone a bit by looking at news sources you may not always look at. The point of this assignment is for you to take news articles and flip the narratives and biases from positive to negative or negative to positive to show you how easily journalists can change the narratives by adding in biased wording, interviews, and opinions. When it comes to flipping the tone of a news story, just be mindful of who or what you're now presenting as the quote unquote bad guys. Remember, don't bully or use hate speech against a person and or groups of people. Here's also a link to the rubric. Here's also a link to my example. So let's take a look at that example real quick. So here's all the directions that I just went through. So for my example, I'm going to pretend I was assigned to MinPost, which is like this newspaper that is based in Minnesota. And my article I chose was "The Healthcare Gap Between Urban and Rural America is on the Rise." Then I gave a 2 to 3 sentence summary of my article in my own words. I then name one aspect that is a positive bias in the news story. So in the news story, I said people in urban areas are more likely to live longer than people in rural areas. And one negative bias I talk about is between 1999 and 2019, health-related deaths between rural people ages 25 to 54 jumped from 6% to 43%. So I then determine if my article is more positive or more negative. So I kind of look back and I'm like, healthcare gap between urban and rural America is on the rise. Is that positive or negative? I'm like, you know what? This is really a negative article. So I'm going to say it's a negative news article. So since I determined that my article is negative, I am then going to complete steps 6, 7, and 8 and completely ignore steps 9, 10, and 11. So I scroll down step 6, and that is where I start because my article is negative. So I do step number 6, I do step number 7, and I do step number 8, and I come out with this finished product. So you'll see on the top I have MinPost because that's the article or the news source I was assigned to. I have where it was published. I said Minneapolis, and then I have the date. So this is an example from last semester. So I have September 19th, 2024. And then I have a new title. I say, Urban Folk Live Longer Than Rural People. So beforehand, it was talking about like this divide between, like the article was talking about the divide between like healthcare in rural versus urban. I spun that article title and I was like, well, look at this. This is so positive. Urban people live longer than rural people. And then I give my summary of how this is a positive thing. So I say, exciting healthcare news for all residents of an urban area. You are statistically more likely to live longer than your rural counterparts. Urban areas have a profound advantage of medical campuses than rural communities. Instead of funding money into urban healthcare, education, housing, and employment, states like South Carolina are actually pumping that money into rural communities. Is that a waste of money? Wouldn't urban populations make use of that money more efficiently due to their more compact population? And then I have my picture. I have a description of what the picture is of, and then I have the website of where I got the image from. Okay? So that is my example. If you have any questions, please, please, please let me know. When I made this last semester, this summative, I was really nervous. It ended up that the students last semester did a really wonderful job with this. So if you do have any questions, let me know. It's still a pretty new summative to me as well, so I'm still working out the kinks and stuff like that. So, all right, thanks for watching. Bye.